My name is Eric. I am 32 years old, and I have cystic fibrosis. Cystic fibrosis is a genetic disease. Basically, it affects the lungs, build up of mucus in the lungs, and it never really stops. The mucus just keeps building up until it basically clogs your lungs with mucus and you pass away. There is no cure for cystic fibrosis. They've come a long way, but there is no cure right now. Diagnosed when I was 9. I had symptoms before then, but it didn't really get serious until I was about, I guess, 19 and I was in college. And I had my first bout of pneumonia. And then it was kind of hit home to me. I was in the hospital for the first time for an extended period of time, and that kind of was the set of what was to come. After that, I was in the hospital probably once every 6 months. About 3 years ago, my right lung collapsed while I was working. You know, I worked really hard to get where I was. I had broken down all these barriers and obstacles to get where I wanted to be, and I was making it. And then just a hard cough made my lung collapse, and that was it. It was time for me to start thinking about lung transplantation. When you get a lung transplant, though, when you're on the list, you're probably about 2 years end of life. Every single day I lose something, you know, to CF, independence-wise, you know, like the ability to take a shower, you know, without having to cover up all the little holes I have in my body from IVs and stuff. When you burn as many calories trying to breathe, you lose more weight. So they want me to pick up like 4,000 calories at least a day. So I have a feeding tube put in so that I can sleep with basically formula being pumped into my stomach. So your FEV1 score is a measurement of how much air you blow out in a second. Obviously 100% is the best, but right now, I blew 20%. The easiest way to explain it would be breathing through one of those coffee stirring straws, or one of those straws you mix a mixed drink with, compared to a McDonald's straw. So if you were to take that little straw and you were to run 100 feet, just breathing through that little straw, you would see how much more compromised your lungs are. You know, next time you're at a restaurant, you see a little straw, go ahead and try breathing through that for a while, and imagine doing every single activity through that straw. And the ball's in my court right now, you know, so if I can raise money and get a lung transplant that meets the requirements for the transplantation, as far as bills, they require you to raise a certain amount of money, you know, obviously, to get on the transplant list. So if I could do that and show them, it's another way, show them that I'm committed. The cost is just astronomical. It's averages about $800,000 for a lung transplant, plus the costs afterwards. And there's a lot to it that's a lot financially to it that you don't see, and that's not covered by insurances or any kind of thing like that. I obviously want to be able to be a normal person. What that encompasses mostly for me is getting my independence back. One of the big things I'd like to do is start a family. You know, obviously I can't, because you don't know what the future holds. Obviously, I don't know where I'll be here in 2 years or 5 years or whatever. But I live vicariously through my sister and my brother-in-law, through my nephew and my niece. Hopefully when I get better and I get my lung transplant, I'll be able to return to work, live a normal life, and be able to do the things that I was able to do that I took for granted before, and now that I realize I took them for granted. Yeah, this is my second chance at life. Not to say I messed up the first one. I did everything right. I did everything I was supposed to do. I took care of myself. But the powers being said that, you know, he's gonna need new lungs in order to have a second chance. I'm gonna fight hard to get the lungs.